The retail chain GNC and the maker of a dietary supplement called Jacked are being sued by the parents of a 22-year-old Army private who died after using it. Michael Sparling collapsed after 10 minutes of running in formation at Fort Bliss. He later died. The parents blamed the supplement, saying it never should have been on store shelves to begin with. Rachel Self is a trial attorney. Vicki Ziegler is a civil attorney, adjunct professor at Fordham Law School. Good to see you both. Vicki, let me start with you. If you go to the GNC website, it describes this product called Jacked as follows. Let's put it up on the screen. Ultra intense muscle gorging strength, energy, power, and endurance. But Vicki, it allegedly contains a very powerful stimulant, DMAA, and some experts say, it's kind of like amphetamines. So do the parents have a legitimate wrongful death cause of action here?
I absolutely think they do, especially against the manufacturers. At this point, it's banned in 7 different countries, and it's called a controlled substance in Canada, not a natural dietary supplement. So I think at this point, it is absolutely going to be able to be proven, I think, and probably out of court, not during the litigation on the wrongful death suit, that in fact this is a harmful, unsafe, dietary supplement not good for human consumption. That's the biggest problem. They don't have to be held to the standards of drugs. The FDA does not have to look at that. The guidelines are such that these supplement providers just have to show the labels. They don't actually have to show any clinical studies that it is that is harmful.
It may be a battle of the experts, and a lot will depend on toxicology and the autopsy and so forth to show a nexus, a causation here between the intake and the cause of death here. But, Rachel, let me put up what the lawyer for the manufacturer says. It's U.S. Plabs that makes Jack. They say, look, let me give you an example. Suppose I drink a soda pop and 15 minutes later died of a heart attack. Would you say that the caffeine in the soda pop caused my heart attack? So clearly the defense is, wait a minute, this is just like caffeine in Coca-Cola and other sodas and coffee that you have 3 times a day.
I don't necessarily know that that's the strongest defense here, Greg. I agree with what Vicki said in that the manufacturers in this case may very well be held liable. But what you're looking at here is a loose regulation here in the United States, and this substance has not been banned at this time. There have been reports that have come out that have indicated that it is not the safest thing to be consuming, but what you said is exactly correct. The causation is going to need to be established here. And the parents in this case are reasonably and completely devastated by the loss of their 22-year-old, otherwise completely healthy son.
Rachel, what about contributory negligence? Might the alleged victim in this case have contributed to his own death?
It's possible, and at this point the facts on that are unclear. They indicate in court filings that the alleged victim used the supplement appropriately, but both contributory and comparative negligence, which is when the alleged victim's actions versus everyone else's actions might have contributed to this, are going to be a factor in this case.
Right.
Let me ask you this, Vicki. The FDA, and I wrote this down, has not asked the product to be recalled as yet. Now, whether that's admissible or not is another question, but it did send letters to companies saying there's no evidence it's a dietary ingredient, this DMAA, and that it often increases blood pressure, potentially increasing the risks of heart attack. Can you get that warning by the FDA into evidence during a wrongful death trial?
I think they're going to have to try. That's going to be a huge piece of evidence to be able to show that they gave GNC, the manufacturer's, warning at the outset that this could possibly be a very harmful and unsafe drug akin to an amphetamine with caffeine stimulating productivity. That could, in fact, be, I think, call for a reason for this piece of evidence to actually try to come in. Of course, the defense is going to block it and say it is not relevant, and obviously you're going to use every rule of evidence to not allow it in. The bottom line is, Greg, that will be an indication of settlement out of court. They've done it on many times, on many occasions. GNC spent millions settling out of court with wrong.
Battle of the experts, lots of depositions, and if they do settle it out of court, the lawyers will get rich, but we feel terrible for the family, assuming there's a nexus here to this particular supplement. All right. Vicki Ziegler, Rachel Self, good to see you both. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you.